It's late again. The kind of late when the air itself feels heavy. And you can hear your own thoughts too clearly. If you're still awake, maybe it's not by accident. Maybe you're supposed to hear something tonight. 3 stories. 3 quiet moments that should have stayed unheard. This is Things We Shouldn't Hear. Let's begin. I used to work night shifts at a small roadside motel. The kind that barely gets guests, mostly truckers and people running from something. The place was old. The wallpaper peeled like dried skin, and the carpet smelled like they'd been soaked in a lifetime of cigarettes and spilled coffee. But what bothered me wasn't the smell. It was room 313. Every night, around 2 a.m., the phone would ring. Just once. Always from that room. And every time I answered, there was nothing. Just static. I checked the logs. The room wasn't rented. Hasn't been for years. My boss told me not to worry. It's a wiring issue, he said. But then one night, I heard something through the static. A voice. Faint, but clear enough. Could you send someone up? I froze. It sounded like a man, tired, polite, almost apologetic. Room 313, he said again. The lights went out. I grabbed my keys. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear the hum of the vending machine. The elevator didn't work, so I took the stairs. When I reached the 3rd floor, the air was cold, like the AC had been left on full blast. But all the doors were closed. Except one. Room 313 was open just an inch. I called out, "Sir? You called the desk?" No answer. I pushed the door open. The lights were off, but the TV was on, flickering between static and a dark, empty hallway feed. And on the bed was a folded set of clothes. A name tag. My name. I ran downstairs, called my boss. No answer. Next morning I quit. 2 days later, the motel caught fire. Room 313 was gone. But when I tried calling my old work phone, someone picked up. They said, "Front desk. Room 313, how may I help you?" Sometimes the past doesn't haunt us. It just waits for us to answer the call. I used to think insomnia was the worst thing that could happen to me. Turns out, sleeping can be worse. 2 years ago, I volunteered for a sleep study at a private clinic. They paid $1,000 just to monitor your dreams for a week. Sounded easy. The room was sterile. No clocks, no windows, just a camera above the bed. They told me, "If you wake up and can't move, it's normal. Just stay calm." The first few nights were fine. But on the 3rd night I woke up. Paralyzed. I could hear breathing near my ear. Not mine. Slow. Deep. Heavy. I tried to scream, but my body wouldn't respond. Then I saw it, a shadow leaning over me, almost touching my face. When the lights flickered back on, I was alone again. The next morning, the doctor looked pale. He said I'd been talking in my sleep. I asked what I said. He looked at his clipboard and muttered, You kept asking, "Who's in my bed?" The recordings from that night were lost. But I saw something strange on the security feed. For exactly 6 minutes, the camera showed two bodies lying in the bed. One of them wasn't breathing. I left the experiment after that. I thought it was over. Until last week. I woke up in my own bed, frozen again. And someone whispered the same question back to me. "Who's in my bed?" Dreams are supposed to be safe. But what if something else dreams with you? I grew up near an old forest. My dad used to warn me not to go there after dark. He said the forest listens, and it remembers. When I was 16, I found a broken radio half buried near a stream. I took it home, cleaned it, and left it on my desk. At 3 a.m. that night, it turned itself on. There was no music. Just a woman's voice. Whispering coordinates. I thought it was a prank. But the next day, curiosity got the better of me. I followed the coordinates into the woods. After an hour, I found a small clearing, and something that looked like a grave. A wooden cross, weathered and half collapsed. The moment I stepped closer, the radio in my backpack turned on again. The same voice said, "You're standing where I stopped breathing." I ran home, threw the radio away. Next morning, it was back on my desk. Still damp from the forest. My dad never asked where I'd been, but that night I heard him talking to someone outside. He said, "I told you to leave her alone." There was no one there. Just the sound of static, drifting from the trees. I moved away years ago. But sometimes, when I'm driving late at night, the radio cuts out, and her voice comes back, whispering new coordinates. Sometimes we record the world. Sometimes the world records us. These were the things we shouldn't have heard. Until next time, sleep carefully.